Welcome back, everyone. So, today we've got an incredibly practical explainer lined up for you. We're going to tackle a financial hurdle that, let's be honest, pretty much all of us stumble over at some point, and that is impulse buying. If you've ever checked your bank account at the end of the month and just thought, wait, how did I manage to spend 60 bucks on a life-sized Yoda statue or, an avocado slicer I'm literally never going to use? Well, you are definitely in the right place. Let's dive into the ultimate playbook to help you take back control of your spending habits and keep your money right where it belongs.
Picture this. You run into the store just to grab a quick gallon of milk, and somehow you walk out carrying 3 bags, a brand new gadget, some premium snacks, and a receipt for $80. Does that sound familiar? Or, hey, maybe you just open a shopping app on your phone to casually browse, and suddenly, bam, you've got 3 items in your cart on their way to your house. We have all been there. It's a completely universal pain point.
So here is our playbook for today. First, we'll look at the impulse buying trap. Second, why we overspend. Third, 10 strategies to stop. Fourth, the 5-step pause method. And finally, how to grow your savings.
Let's kick things off with part 1, the impulse buying trap.
Which brings us right into part 2, why we actually overspend.
You see, before we can fix this habit, we actually have to understand the underlying mechanics of it, because there's this fundamental battle constantly happening right in our brains. Impulse buying is almost entirely driven by emotions, not logic. When we impulse buy, we're usually just trying to feel better, maybe reward ourselves, or relieve stress. It's this completely spontaneous reaction. Logic, on the other hand, involves planned, budgeted, and rational needs. The whole reason breaking this habit is so incredibly tough is because it's an emotional reflex. We aren't doing the math. We're really just trying to satisfy a feeling in that exact moment.
And here's the kicker. Retailers understand this psychology perfectly, and they actively design traps to exploit it. Those sale signs and limited time offers, they're just there to create a completely false sense of urgency. Have you ever wondered why supermarkets always put the dairy section way in the back of the store? Yeah, it's so you're forced to walk past thousands of other brightly packaged items just to get that one essential gallon of milk. Products are deliberately placed at eye level or right at the checkout counter to tempt you at the last possible second. Online, one-click buying just completely removes all friction, and recommendation algorithms show you exactly what you didn't even know you wanted. Basically, they design their entire ecosystem to make you buy without thinking. But hey, here's the good news. Impulse buying is really just a habit, and like any habit, we can absolutely break it.
That leads us nicely to part 3, 10 strategies to stop.
Okay, strategy number 1 is the 24-hour rule. Before buying anything that isn't on your planned shopping list, you must wait 24 hours. Just go home, sleep on it. Let that really urgent emotional urge fade away. Ask yourself the next day if you still truly want or need it. Honestly, you're going to be amazed at how often the answer is a hard no. And for bigger, more expensive items, definitely stretch this out to 48 or even 72 hours.
Strategy 2 brings us to pure intentionality. Make a list and stick to it like glue. Seriously, never go into a store without a list. Before you even leave the house, write down exactly what you need. If it's not on the list, it does not go in the cart. Period. This simple boundary just totally removes the burden of having to make decisions while you're surrounded by all those retailer traps we just talked about.
Moving on, strategy 3 takes this a step further by changing how you pay. Think about the difference here. Swiping a credit card or tapping your phone is entirely frictionless, right? The money feels invisible. It honestly feels less real. But using cash, now that is a physical, tangible experience. When you have to literally hand over physical bills and watch your hard-earned money leave your hands, your brain processes that loss differently. If you really struggle with overspending, try withdrawing your weekly budget in cash and commit to only using that. It is a total game changer.
Strategies 4 and 5 are all about a digital detox. First, unsubscribe from those retail marketing emails right now. If you aren't seeing the flashy promotional emails, you aren't being tempted. So take 20 minutes today and just scrub your inbox. Next, delete those mindless shopping apps from your phone. Think about how many times you've opened a shopping app just because your thumbs were bored while you were sitting on the couch. If the app isn't sitting on your home screen, you simply can't do that. You can always reinstall them if you genuinely need something, but adding that extra step of friction works absolutely wonders.
Strategy 6 brings us back to the psychology of it all. Identify your emotional triggers. You've got to pay close attention to when you're most likely to impulse buy. Is it after a stressful day at work? Is it when you're feeling a bit lonely or, just bored on a Sunday afternoon? Once you identify that trigger, find an alternative, non-financial response. If you tend to shop when you're stressed, try replacing that habit with going for a walk, hitting the gym, or maybe just calling a really good friend.
Okay, strategy 7 is a fantastic reset for your brain, the No Spend Challenge. Start small with a 2-day no-spend weekend. You just commit to absolutely 0 non-essential purchases for 48 hours straight. Once you conquer that, you level up to a 7-day no-spend week. These challenges are incredible because they totally disrupt your default routines and very quickly prove to you just how little you actually need to spend to be perfectly happy.
Strategy 8 turns you into an active interrogator of your own purchases. Ask yourself these 5 strict questions before buying. 1. Is this a need or just a fleeting want? 2. Where exactly is this going to live in my home? 3. Will I honestly still care about this item in a week? 4. What's the opportunity cost? Like, what else could I actually do with this money? And 5. Is buying this taking me closer to or further from my financial goals? If you can't confidently answer these, do yourself a huge favor and put the item right back on the shelf.
Strategy 9 is super simple but highly effective. Shop with a purpose and a strict time limit. Remember, retailers want you lingering. The longer you spend wandering the aisles or aimlessly scrolling through a website, the more likely you are to buy things you definitely don't need. Treat shopping like a tactical mission. Get in, get exactly what is on your list, and get out.
And rounding out our 10 strategies is strategy 10. Track every single purchase. When you know you have to manually record a purchase in your spending tracker or your budget, it really makes you pause. Just the sheer annoyance of having to pull out your phone and type in a $5 coffee creates this instant friction layer. It builds a level of accountability that significantly reduces your impulse spending.
All right, moving on to part 4, the 5-step pause method.
Now, even with all these strategies in place, the urge to impulse buy is still going to strike from time to time. We're only human. When that heated urge hits you, you need an emergency brake. Here is how it works. Step 1, pause. Physically stop and take a deep breath before even reaching for your wallet. Step 2, identify. Ask yourself what emotion you're feeling right in that very second. Step 3, question. Do I genuinely need this item? Step 4, wait. Apply that 24-hour rule we talked about earlier. And finally, step 5, decide. After 24 hours have actually passed, make a conscious, logical decision. This entire sequence takes literally less than a minute of mental effort, but it can absolutely save you hundreds of dollars.
Finally, we arrive at part 5, grow your savings.
Stopping this habit isn't just about restriction, it's really about building wealth. Every single time you resist an impulse purchase, I want you to take the exact amount of money you would have spent and transfer it directly into your savings account. Seriously, if you just avoided a $40 online purchase, log right into your bank app and move $40 to savings right then and there. This instantly reframes the whole situation. You aren't depriving yourself, you're taking a highly positive, active step toward building your wealth. It feels so incredibly rewarding to watch that balance grow just by saying no to things you didn't really need anyway.
Which brings us to a fantastic closing thought from our source author, Mohammed Mateen. He says, "It is not about depriving yourself. It is about being intentional with your money." And honestly, that is what this whole explanator boils down to. Spending on the things that truly bring you value and cutting out all the noise that just drains your resources. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. What is your absolute biggest impulse buying trigger, and which of these strategies are you going to use today to defeat it? Thank you so much for joining me, and I cannot wait to see you